Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. And today we will be doing another movie versus here with Brother Bear versus Cowboy Bebop. Brother Bear, which came out in 2003, and Cowboy Bebop, which came out in 2001. So anyway, when trying to figure out which movie wins, we go by plot, main characters, side characters, songs, humor, villain/antagonist, cast, romance, action, themes, and memorability. So let's get started. First up is plot, and when it comes to plot, we actually gave that to Brother Bear. The reason being, Cowboy Bebop has a fine plot for the movie, where it's about this terrorist he's trying to release this new virus upon the people, and Spike, the main character, gets him and his crew kind of get pulled into this, and they're trying to stop this guy from releasing the virus. And at the same time, you have this agent who's kind of pursuing the villain as well. And that's fine. It gets a little too complicated for its own good, but overall the plot works pretty well. But for Brother Bear, you have the main character named Kenai, and he goes off and kind of kills this bear based upon a mistake that he had made, because he had left a bag of fish too low and everything, and so the bear had gotten it, and he got mad and everything, because even though he made the mistake, he blamed the bear. So he went off and killed this bear for no real reason, right? And he pursues this bear for no real reason, and then during an incident, again from his fault, his oldest brother ends up dying. So he again, even though it's his fault, he kind of blames the bear. So he goes off and he kills this bear, and in doing so, he kind of gets punished for it. And the spirits, including his oldest brother that died, change him into a bear. And the only way for him to change back is to go where the lights touch the earth, or the northern lights. So Kenai has to make his way there, and in the process of doing that, he has a tag-along named Coda, who is trying to get to the salmon run, which is near the northern lights, and Coda's looking for his mother. And then the whole thing, you have Kenai being pursued by his other brother, Tnashi, I believe is how you say it. Tnashi is pursuing him because he thinks that both Kenai and their oldest brother were killed by this bear, whom Kenan is embodying right now. So he's out to get revenge on this bear that he thinks killed his family. Anyway, that's the basic idea of the plot, and it's presented really well. And there's a little complications to it, but it's just presented in a really good manner, and I think it works better as a drive than Cowboy Bebop's plot does. So anyway, moving on. For main character, we gave that to Cowboy Bebop. Reason being is Spike as the main character. He's very likable. He has quite the charm to him and humor and everything, and you can identify with him a little bit and how he looks on things, and he just has that kind of cool perspective on it. And the voice works, and the action kind of works. His motivations, he kind of presents himself like he doesn't care about things, yet his actions kind of speak that he does care. And you really you enjoy him for that. So we gave that one to Spike, whereas Kenai is fine. He has a lot of development, but you really start off the movie kind of hating his character. So even though he does have growth, big portion of the movie you really kind of hate him. and that doesn't do him any service. So, side characters, we also gave that one to Cowboy Bebop. You have kind of Spike's crew with Jet, Ed, and Faye, and they're kind of they contribute to the plot quite a bit because they find different pieces of what this fire's about and what Vincent, the villain, is about, and so they really kind of touch upon that. And then, of course, their interactions with Spike and all that. And then you also have the agent who's kind of pursuing Vincent at the same time, and her involvement with everything. You get to know that, and you also get to see her interact with Spike, and so that worked out really good. For songs, we also gave it to Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop does have a few songs in it, and overall they're so much more enjoyable than Brother Bear's, which is interesting because Brother Bear has at least a couple songs by Phil Collins, who also did the songs in Tarzan, which was really good. But there's a little missing in this movie for that. It's not as honed in as Tarzan's was. So, and Cowboy Bebop, the songs just they stand out really good. They kind of have a feel to the movie with them, which is interesting because they don't directly tie in, but they're just overall more enjoyable. So, songs went to Cowboy Bebop. Humor also went to Cowboy Bebop between his interactions with Jet and with Faye, and then Ed as a crazy girl that she is. Like, you have all that all those work really well, and an opening scene is a good showcase of some of the humor as well. So humor just kind of worked better than it were like every point of humor in Cowboy Bebop works, whereas Brother Bear tries too hard sometimes. But for villain / antagonist, that one goes to Brother Bear. As I said before, like the antagonist of this movie is Kenai's older brother, Tnashi, and you understand perfectly why he's doing this, because he thinks that this bear killed both his brothers, his only family. So you understand why he's pursuing this bear. And he also had a fight with Kenai earlier in the movie, and that was kind of the ending point that they had right before, Kenai quote unquote died. So there's a lot motivating Tnashi, and you really understand him. Whereas for Bebop, for Vincent, which is the terrorist, you do get his backstory a little bit, and you kind of understand where he's coming from, but his motivations are a little more murky, and he has none of the kind of personality that you get with Brother Bear, with Tnashi. So for cast, we gave cast to Cowboy Bebop. Again, the main group, the voice cast is pretty good. Really stands out. The best thing about Brother Bears is you have Joaquin Phoenix as Kenai, but Cowboy Bebop, you got Steve Blum for Spike, and even though Steve has been in a lot of different animes and shows and stuff, he brings such a life to the Spike character that you can hear his voice and other stuff and still identify him as being Spike. You still get recalled to that. So he's really the standout. But Faye and Ed and Jet, they're all very good too. So for themes, we gave that one to Brother Bear. Just makes sense. Cowboy Bebop's, the themes you gotta dig quite a bit deeper for, and they're just not as impactful as the ones in Brother Bear, with family and kind of responsibility growing up, and the nature versus man kind of aspect of it, and respecting nature and all that. And so all those kind of work really well for Brother Bear. And then memorability we also give to Brother Bear. Between a couple of the death scenes that take place, and when Kenai is turned into the bear and turned out from being a bear. And then you also have an interaction with him and Coda later on in the movie. It has a song playing, but there's not as many, like, they're not really speaking that much. you know they're talking, but you don't really hear what they're saying. But just the facial expressions alone are really good. And there's a moment where it kind of it backtracks, shows a flashback to something that we've seen at an earlier point in the movie, but it adds just a slightly new, um, uh, not perspective, but it adds a slightly new kind of twist on it, and we've seen that in other movies before, but it's done so well here that it really kind of, when you look, it makes you look at the whole movie a little differently, and so that works really well. So we Brother Bear definitely gets memorability for that, because Cowboy Bebop has some action moments that are memorable, but nothing really that really kind of connects with you as Brother Bear does. And Brother Bear also has a few action pieces that are there, so that do connect. But anyway, so for those of you keeping track here, we have a 4-6 tally in favor of Cowboy Bebop. So Cowboy Bebop movie wins this round. Another interesting matchup. You know, it's kind of cool going through the points here, but in any case, what do you guys think about that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you seen the movie